Welcome to our open book. Very glad to be with you tonight. The SR, Karen Smith, John O'Hara, Jeremy Sicking, Karen Hill, Diana Lynch, Maggie, Caroline. Very good to be with all of you. The news from Texas is just devastating and sad beyond belief. And we're going to read some Texas literature tonight as we think of our friends there and strangers who are grieving. I found several poems on humanities, Texas, that I'm going to read from a novel. Anne McCready. This is from her collection Along Great House Road. Before subdivisions and trailer parks sprang up like volunteer wheat, this stretch of highway was his favorite part about riding with his grandfather. Back to the house after long days of moving cows, gathering peaches, and fixing the fence along Onion Creek. Hugging the metal curve of the old Chevy truck door, his skinny chin propped on his forearm as the draft of the open window turned his hair into a tousled halo. He'd spent the drive staring into his grandfather's fields, amazed, the rusty seed tops flicking past as he listened to the old man tell stories of cotton gins and jenny mules and low-water bridge crossings, jostled by the ruts and gullies of roads meant for tractors. He slipped into the sleep of little boys not used to farm work, slept against the shoulder of the only man he knew who could tell for sure the heft of dirt ready for planting, the sky color of coming rain, and the taste of grain ready to be pulled from stalks, too proud to bend to profit. Now there's, you familiar with the bats in Austin?
Oh, of course.
Bat Crossing by Amanda Johnston. 10 million bats, 20 million little wings flutter out from under the Congress Street Bridge. In the blue-pink ombre of dusk. Photo in the Austin airport captured the moment so perfectly, I had to take a pic in the frantic airport traffic, millions of little feet. About to soar. I stop and fumble with my phone, apps angles my tiny desire to witness. The man sees me, stops and waits. A flock of people moves around as he waits, and for a few seconds we hover on a tiny cloud of kindness. I get the shot. We float on. Praise the little moments of seeing. Praise the pause and patience we share in the pixelated moments of life. Now, poem by Bobby Bird on the transmigration of souls in El Paso. This one's called After Playing Basketball on a Tuesday Night. Down at the Pine Knot Junior on Yandell Street, the Mexican lady says, "You got pretty eyes." I'll believe anything she says. Muchas gracias, yo te amo. She laughs and blushes. Me too. She sells me and my friends big boys of beer, 16 ounces of Busher Old Milwaukee in a mason jar for 80 cents each, plus tax. On the TV, the Braves play the Astros. Jose Cruz is old, so is Nolan Ryan, so am I, so are most of my friends. It's almost October and nobody cares. The Astros were done last month. We sit outside instead. The sun goes down over the mountains. Saturn is hung right next to the moon between two pink clouds in the twilight blue sky. Yeah, that's right. Eternity. Texas is like this sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And that is usually enough. Now I'm going to read the first words from a novel, The Gay Place. Not in the contemporary sense. This was written by Billy Lee Brammer, who was a staff member for Lyndon Johnson in a, distinguished crew that included Bill Moyers and Harry McPherson. And it's a novel of Texas politics with a very LBJ-like character at the center named Arthur Fenstermacher, who says "goddamn" all the time. Let me just read, because this is set in Texas Hill Country where this tragedy has just occurred. This is how it opens. Billy Lee Brammer. The country is mostly barbarously large and final. It is too much country, boondock country, alternately drab and dazzling, spectral and remote. It is so wrongfully muddled and various that it's difficult to conceive of all of it as a piece, though it begins simply enough as part of the other. It begins very much like the other in an ancient backwash of old dead seas and lambent estuaries around which rise cypress and cedar and pine thickets, hung with spiked vines and the cheerless festoons of Spanish moss. Farther on, the earth firm, stagnant pools are stirred by the rumble of living river, and the mild ferment of bottomland dissolves as the county begins to reveal itself in the vast hallucinations of Salt Dome and Cotton Row, tree farm and rice field and irrigated pasture, and the flawed dream of the cities. And away and beyond, even farther, the land continues to rise as on a counterbalance with water tables, and then the first faint range of the west comes into view. A great serpentine escarpment changing colors with the hours, with the seasons, hummocky and soft shape at one end, rude and wind-blasted at the other, blue and green, green and gray and dune-colored. A staggered fault line extending hundreds of miles north and south. The range is not so high as it is sudden and aberrant, a disorder in the even westerly roll of the land. One could not call it mountain, but it is a considerable hill or set of hills, and here again the country is transformed. The land rises steeply beyond the first escarpment, and everything is changed. Texture, configuration, blistering facade, all of it warped and ruptured and bruise-colored. The few rivers run deep like old wounds, boiling round the fractures and revealing folds of a slate and shell and glittering blue limestone, spilling back and across and out of the hills toward the lower country. It's quite a beginning, isn't it? That's the very first words of Billy Lee Brammer's great novel, The Gay Place. Political comedy. Arthur goddamn Fenstermacher is the governor of Texas. And I want to read something else now to conclude. And I could use some audience help. A song first made famous by Gene Autry.
I think I see what you're going to read.
Lyrics by June Hershey and music by Don Swander. I'm going to read it as poetry. The stars at night are big and bright.
Oh, deep in the heart of Texas.
The prairie sky is wide and high.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The sage in bloom is like perfume.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
reminds me of the one I love.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The coyotes wail along the trail.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The rabbits rush around the brush.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The cowboys cry, K-yippee-yi.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The doggies bawl and bawl and bawl.
Oh, deep in the heart of Texas. Oh,
Oh my,
it's beautiful.
it is beautiful. Thanks very much for being with us on our open book. Very good to be with everyone tonight, and we are thinking of all those folks in Texas, and God bless. So
Deep in the heart of Texas.
deep in the heart of Texas.
And Texas is in our hearts.
Yeah, Texas is. So thanks very much for being with us. See you later. Bye-bye.